What's up guys, and welcome to today's video where I want to show you step by step what I did to a brand new Shopify dropshipping clients campaigns on Google Ads to take them to now over $3,000 in the current week. So when I onboarded this client around 2 weeks ago, they did nothing on Google Ads. So they did some Facebook ads, etc. before, but they did nothing on Google Ads yet. And now we are in our second week and we are over $3,000 in sales at a really good return on ad spend of 330%. So in the first week, it was also pretty good. We had a little less volume, we had a little less profitability, but I think considering that we are still in the testing phase, it's a really good result. And I also can show you the stat from today here. So let's see how it looks like today. Today we are looking at actually a way better return on ad spend of almost 500%, but we only spent 60 euros so far, so around $80 or so. So there is still a lot to come. We are now entering the scaling phase, so now we soon want to go to like $200, $300 a day. Right now we're around 130, and yeah. I want to show you step by step what I did to them using the principles that I teach in this on this channel here, but of course also a lot of the principles and strategies that I show in depth in my training, the eCom PPC Academy. So I hope that you are excited. Please take some notes. Let me know in the comments whether you are already using Google Ads, and let's get started with the training. All right, so let's go on with the step-by-step process here. And the requirements, so the things that you should have in place before, if you want to like follow along, is first of all, Google Analytics setup. Now, I know many people don't use it. Use it. It's very important that you have it in place. You will get so much more info from it. The second is a shopping feed merchant center setup. So the first 2 days we're actually running search ads only, but of course shopping is extremely important, so you should have this in place. And the third one is existing products. So in this video, I'm not showing you like how to pick products or do all these things. We are kind of saying that you have products in your store already and you want to sell them. This is how we started. So when I took over the client, they had products in place. Actually, they had a fairly general store, like not completely general, but very broad category. And we were just adding those products to Google Ads. So now let's start with the first step, and this is the initial test. So in the very beginning, for the initial test, what we did is we created 2 major shopping campaigns with around 20 to 30 products each. Now, as I said, guys, we started in the very beginning with search, but then very quickly after 2 or 3 days, we started with shopping too. 20 to 30 products each. Now, I know that a lot of times I recommend that you have 10 to 20, but because we started off immediately with like, I think an $80 or $90 per day budget, I felt like it's definitely okay to go with 20 to 30 per campaign, which means around 40 to 60 in total. So I did that because when I took over a new campaign or a new client, or when we start from zero with new products, you never know exactly what does very well. So you want to have a broad scope, but not too broad that you your whole budget is diluted. If you have a very high budget, you can add like 100 products in shopping. In general, try to stick between like 10, 20 up to like 30 or 40, depending on how much money you have. Then I also, or before that, I created 2 Google search campaigns with laser targeted keywords. So I was looking at exactly the products. So I took 2 products out there that were already doing somewhat well on their account, on their store. Actually, one of them was doing well. The other one I thought could do well on Google search. So I took 2 of them into the campaign, 2 separate campaigns, and I started with laser targeted keywords. So I was not doing some random broad match stuff only later on to get more traffic, but I was starting with really laser focused keywords around these products. I was using a lot of broad match modifiers and also a little bit of phrase match. And I used you should use 2 to 3 ads per ad group when you start a search ad. So when you start a new search ad, you want to make sure that you get the highest click-through rate possible and the lowest CPC possible. And this is only doable if you start away with 2 or 3 ads per ad group. And I recommend that you use products for at least $50 or like categories. If you send products from a search ad to like a $10, $20 product, it's very hard to be profitable with that, even harder than with shopping. So don't do that with search unless you have a very good reason to do so. And I then just collected product feedback. So in the first few days, I don't really care about any return on ad spend or return on investment. Of course, it's cool if you have some, but in the beginning, you cannot expect it. So I was just sitting there, I was setting everything up. At this point, then we were running 2 shopping, 2 search campaigns, and just collecting like feedback. So which of the products work on shopping, which of the 2 search campaigns is actually getting qualified clicks. And I realized that very quickly, the search campaigns had click-through rates of like 6, 7, 8%. So I knew then that at least the ads were good. I had no idea about the products yet because there weren't sales immediately on search, but I at least knew that the ads are interesting, that the topic is on point. So this is a good start. On shopping, we made some sales pretty quickly. I think the first or second day, I think we made our first sales too. So that was actually pretty great. And when it comes to getting product feedback, what I do is I decrease the product CPC bids of underperformers. So I regularly check the Google shopping campaigns and checked, okay, which of these products is not doing well at all? Like which of them are getting very high cost per click, even though the product is not that expensive? Which of them are getting like super small CTRs, and which of them are getting a lot of clicks without making any sale or having like very short session durations, no add to carts, etc. And I decreased these CPCs because I don't want to remove products too quickly. As soon as I learn like it goes into a certain direction, I like to drastically reduce CPC bids by like 20, 30, then 50% or even more, but I don't want to remove them immediately. Doing it that way instead of just removing it gives them still a chance to make some sales, but at a cheaper rate. So they won't eat away all your budget because you put the CPC bid down that much. Then I stopped one search campaign after around 100 clicks without sales, so this wasn't not that great. It had a decent click-through rate, and I kind of got fooled by it, so I thought like, okay, great. I have to say though that the CPC was very low. I think we were paying like 18 cents or something. So I stopped it after around 100 clicks without any sales. It's very hard to really know when to stop a campaign. Like people always ask for a magic number. There is no magic number. It's not that I always stop after 100. Sometimes I stop after 60, sometimes only after 200. Also kind of depends on the product price. So if the product is extremely expensive, you can collect way more clicks before you cancel it, because you know that if a sale comes around the corner, you made up for all your expenses and much more. If you get 100 clicks on a $20 product without a sale yet, you know that you can never make this profitable, at least not that easy, and then you should also cancel it earlier. I used Google Analytics, as I said, to check the session duration as early indicators for success. So 3 out of 4 times that worked well. So I checked which of these products or which of those campaigns get a good session duration, like 40 seconds, 60 seconds, 80 seconds. And if they were very high, like I consider everything above 30 seconds or 40 seconds pretty solid on paid traffic, I kept them on for a little longer, even though they didn't make sales immediately. And actually in 3 out of the 4 campaigns, this strategy worked out very well. The fourth one actually had a very good session duration, I think 60 or 70 seconds, but in the end I still had to cancel the campaign because it was not working out. As I said, the Google Analytics session duration trick is not 100% foolproof, of course. It doesn't deliver results all the time, but I mean 3 out of 4 is a pretty good statistic, and yeah, for us it worked out very well, and now we are left with pretty profitable campaigns and of course stuff that we can still test. Then the second step was identifying promising products. So the winner was already driving us 200 to 400% return on ad spend very, very quickly. So within like the first 2 or 3 days, we were having that one winner on Google Ads that was doing pretty well. As I said, we were running on like an $80 budget per day. So it's normal that you find a winner quicker than as if you have like a $10 or $20 per day budget. So if you have a $10 per day budget and you didn't find your winner after 1 week, don't worry. It's normal if your budget is that much lower. We also kept other products running though. So what I don't like is to, as soon as I have a winner, put everything into it, because I know that winners can, first of all, it can be a false indicator. Probably you get sales for like 1 or 2 weeks, but then it stops. I don't want to bet everything on this one product. And also I want to keep testing more stuff so that I have this one winner that is making up for the losses of the other products. But at the same time, I have more products to test and check whether they will become good as well. And right now we have like 3, or actually I think we have 4 products now that are doing pretty well. And if I would have scaled with the one winner immediately without checking the rest, I would have missed on these products for sure. But then we gradually removed underperforming products. So the ones that are getting extremely high clicks without anything. I think the one with the most clicks that I canceled was like at 200 clicks or so, 220 clicks without a single sale, and this was then when I removed it. Also, the winner was put in a separate shopping campaign to give other products a chance. You have to think about it. If you have all your products in one campaign, one of them is getting all the sales. Of course, Google is delivering it more, so you get a lot of clicks on this single product. The rest is not really, you cannot really test the rest because you just get a few clicks. So as soon as I was getting the first few sales on this one performing campaign, I put it into a separate campaign so that I could test all the rest too. And now, you know, every now and then I get a sale on a totally new product, I check it, and if I see it's promising, if I see it's expensive and still got us a good sale, I think about putting it into a separate campaign. Because one important part here is that if you put it into a separate campaign or ad group, you can use negative keywords for that product. If you have one shopping campaign with all your products in it, you cannot define negative keywords for each individual product, only for the whole campaign, which of course doesn't make sense if you have all kind of different products. So it's very important that you outsource products to other campaigns and ad groups very quickly. The search campaign was split into two ad groups based on keywords. So I realized that in the search campaign, there were two categories of keywords that people, or of search terms that people entered to get to our site. And when I realized that, I split it into two ad groups so that I can talk about one of these categories directly in one of those ad groups and ads, and about the other one in the other ad group and the other ads. If I would have kept this all in one, I would always lose profitability and sales because I'm not getting the perfect result. If you see something like this in your case, like if you see that half the people look more for a certain type of product within your campaign and the other one in for different, make sure that you split them into two different ad groups so that you can laser focus your ads and keywords to each of those two different categories in your search campaign. It kind of also works for shopping, but it's not that straightforward because obviously you cannot define keywords yourself. I removed competitor keywords, so when people entered stuff like Amazon and then our product, or eBay and then our product, or very big competitors, I made the experience that if you have those in your campaigns, they almost always don't perform that well because people have this competitor in mind. And even though they might sometimes buy from your store, I mean, we got purchases from people looking for others, but just occasionally. For me, it's always easier to remove them immediately. So as soon as you get people looking for your product and you see all those different competitor names, you can exclude competitors all the time. And same goes for non-laser focused keywords. So let's say you are selling, I have to come up with an example now. Let's say you are selling some very specific, like pink dress, right, for girls. So let's say or children. Let's say you sell pink dress for children, and it's just like a handful of products. You want to remove the exact match keyword dress because people are just looking for a dress, and you send them to just like a pink dress for girls. The chance is very low that they will buy this exact product. So everything that is not exactly what we sell, we exclude it because we don't have like a huge product selection. If you are a big retailer with everything, you can obviously target those very broad keywords. But if you want to send people to a specific product page or specific categories, this is not really something that you want to do. So I got rid of all of that so that now, of course, there is always new stuff coming up. So you have to check your keyword or your search terms daily. But all the time there is new stuff coming up. I exclude it. And by the day, our campaigns get more and more relevant and also hopefully profitable. So the third step then is the road to $3,068. All right, so Lightning is a little bit different now, a little bit later. I had a little interruption here, but moving on with the third step, the road to $3,068 now, which is what I did then in the next step to hit that milestone that we are looking at now, almost a little more than $3,000 in the current week at a pretty good return on ad spend. And the first thing is that the search campaign was split into two ad groups based on keywords. So what this means is, I ran this search campaign all the time, and I had just one ad group in this campaign. And what I realized is when I looked at the search inquiries all the time that I got, I realized that we were getting most of our search queries were basically within one of two categories. And because I only had one campaign with one ad group, I was grouping all of them together in this one single ad group. And as you know, an ad group shares the same amount of ads. So if you have two different types of categories that you use within one single ad group, it's not perfect because you have one ad for two different categories. So I realized that when I check the search terms on a daily basis, that I basically have two categories in there, not one, and I split them into two separate ad groups. I had one ad group now talking about this one category with this ad, another one talking about the other one. And that way it performed much better, and now we were able to increase the return on ad spend from this search campaign because of that. The next thing is that I did an extensive search term analysis for all shopping campaigns, because what you need to realize is that even though you cannot define keywords on shopping, it is extremely important that you define negative keywords on shopping, because this is something that you can do. And even though your shopping campaigns may sometimes get clicks, and you may say, well, I don't need to exclude this keyword because it gave me a click. The point is, though, that some keywords are very much indicating what a customer really wants. And we had this example with like Amazon, for example, as a competitor keyword. If someone is typing that in, the person might still go to your site because they're interested in what you have, but because they made up their mind and they were looking specifically for Amazon, it's way harder to convert them for your business, as if they would just type in your product type without a brand. So I was scanning through all shopping campaigns, and I was heavily excluding things that were like brand related, that were not exactly my product, that were like a very closely related search term, but adding just one more word made a totally different product out of it. So you probably know that there are a ton of different examples for that. You could, for example, go with, let's have it a very general example. Let's say you're selling phones, which is very unlikely, and someone types in phone cable, right? It's a very related keyword from a wording perspective, but of course it's an entirely different product. And these were the things that I excluded in our campaign. So products search queries that sound similar, but in the end they are totally different because of just one single word that is added. Then besides that, what happened is I used dynamic remarketing to get back all visitors, so that after like 1 week we set up dynamic remarketing. However, surprisingly, it is not that profitable yet. So it is less profitable than our search and shopping campaigns, which I kind of, what made me kind of wonder. I think we sold 4 products or 3 products over dynamic remarketing so far only. But of course, the more people visit your site, the bigger your audience gets, the more effective the dynamic remarketing campaign also becomes. So this is something that I have to mention too. It's not that successful yet, but it's improving, and it's definitely something that you should keep up at all times. So dynamic remarketing is absolutely crucial for every single Google ad campaigns that you, or every single Google account that you have. So right now, just as a little overview, we have 6 shopping campaigns, we have 1 search campaign, and we have 1 remarketing campaign. And the shopping campaign, you know, out of these 6, 3 are doing like the main sales. The other ones are always testing and checking new things. The search campaign is extremely profitable. So this one is very well, as I told you, I removed the other one, but this one search campaign here is extremely profitable. And the remarketing campaign, well, it's not that great, but it's doing okay. And I believe that you always need 1 remarketing campaign going because normally over time, it's definitely one of the most profitable campaigns that you have. So these are the things that I did between, you know, identifying the promising products, moving on, get a little more ROI out of it, so that we're now looking at the, like I said, 300-something% for this week. And this is what I did the next. So a little more fine tuning. And the next step, so the next things that I plan are, first of all, using smart shopping. I launched the first smart shopping campaign today only, and we just got a few impressions. So I will see how that goes and what this will do for the business. Normally, smart shopping tends to work extremely well, and almost always you will be able to see some improvement in return on ad spend and return on investment, etc. I want to soon increase the budget to up to $200 a day, and then of course also beyond that. There is no limit currently, and they already gave me the go to spend 200 or even a little bit more than that. And the next is showcase ads for shopping categories. So if you use Google Shopping ads with categories, it makes a lot of sense to use so-called showcase ads that let you basically group together similar products, and that then you can combine them to you know, show people multiple products without them having to click to your page. What this means is you can show people multiple products before they even visit you, before you even pay for a click. This is a great way to save money, to show people what you have, but it only works for categories or for niche stores or something like that. It doesn't make sense to run like showcase ads for totally irrelevant or totally unrelated products. Like if you have a bracelet here and a kitchen gadget here, etc. This doesn't work. If you want to use showcase ads, then these products need to be closely related for maximum effectiveness. So yeah, guys, I hope that you liked this little step-by-step tutorial. It was very like text-driven, text-intensive. I hope that it still was very helpful for you. I feel like if I'm showing it in the AdWords dashboard, it's not that great for a quick YouTube video. It's something that I do in my training, the eCom PPC Academy, where it's a little easier to follow then. But I believe that you need multiple videos to explain it in the best way possible in that case, so that you use presentations with live footage from an account, etc. for the best possible way. Here for this video here today, I hope that this was extremely helpful. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you want to see more e-commerce and Google Ads and marketing content like this. Put it in the comments whether you want to try something similar, whether you what your success with Google Ads looks like so far, whether it worked better for you than Facebook. Just some general stuff about Google Ads, about this video here, but also general questions that you might have. Just put them in the comments. And of course, as I said, if you want to check out my exclusive professional training, the eCom PPC Academy, make sure that you check the link in the description. We just relaunched a few days ago, actually. This being said, guys, I really thank you for watching this video till this point. We have been like over 15 minutes, I think now. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked it, and I will hopefully see you in the next video, guys. Bye-bye.